You know, when I was a young man, my mom told me that anything that's worthwhile in life, it's just not going to be easy.
So I'm sure everybody's heard that the department is attempting to become audit ready by the end of 2017. But let me talk briefly about why that's important to us. The easy answer is it's the law. Congress passed law in 1990, again in 1996, and again most recently in the 2010 National Defense Authorization Act that directed the Navy, the Department of Defense at large, to become audit ready.
If we look at the whole spectrum of the word accountability, I think we get a better picture of what we're trying to do here, what we're trying to do with the financial audits. It's about getting that effective use, and then we can get more out of what we're given. The effective and efficient use of those things. If we take care of each other or take care of our process and hone it and actually know where things are, I think we'll get a better use of the resources we have today.
A Navy audit, whether it's the Navy or the Department of Defense or a private publicly held company or a publicly held company or your personal finances is all about managing your resources that you have. And those resources include dollars, they include your property, they include whatever inventory, supplies that you may have. And just as you do that at home, you manage your checkbook, you make sure that the money that you have coming in is sufficient and adequate to provide those resources that you choose to purchase. That's the same thing we need to do for the Department of the Navy.
You know, so setting ourselves up for a good, accurate, proper audit, I think not only proves to ourselves and government that we're spending those assets properly, but much more importantly, it sets us up for the readiness in the fleet because we have good confidence that we're buying the spares that we need.
And then we have a responsibility to the American public that says we actually understand how that all integrates. And I think that's really what we're trying to do with our financial audits that we have, is to explain where our money is going and why we're spending it and justifying it, I guess, in a way to say, of why we're buying what we're buying.
These are fiscally constrained times, and any wasting of resources or any improper documentation just, in my mind, just contributes to added work, more work, wasted resources, or whatever the case may be. With the sailors on the deck plates, I'm constantly talking to them about procedural compliance, backing each other up, all those things that make sure that the resources that we're given provide the maximum value to the people of the United States of America.
So within the Department of the Navy, anybody that touches an asset, and an asset can be an aircraft carrier, an asset could be the Washington Navy Yard, or the buildings within the Washington Navy Yard and the resources within the Navy Yard. It could be an ordnance item that's in a magazine someplace or in your weapons storage on a ship. It could be tools and equipment. It could be any number of items that go into an acquisition program. And you have a role, and your role is to ensure that those assets that you manage are properly recorded, that they're they're accurate and they're properly entered into the system, consistent with your organization's SOPs and guidance that has been put out in order that we can collectively manage the Navy and manage our resources.
I think what's important to think about when we think about this financial audit is it's not a one-time thing. It's a culture. It's a team sport, and it's a culture, and it's a journey, right? And this journey gives us the ability to catch improvements throughout time.
And if we can do things better, if we can do things smarter, if we can do things more efficiently, and I think we've got great procedures out there, we follow those procedures, we understand where we can gain efficiencies, and then that creates additional fiscal assets that we can then go put back into the readiness equation to make our sailors and our ships more ready.
Each of you are critical to this effort, but you're not alone. We're not expecting you to become an accountant overnight just because Washington says that we have to become audit ready.
FMO has put together a series of videos. So today we're talking about the big picture and how it affects us individually, and you're seeing that. And the other ones are going to be about those individual nodes and tell us the hows and the whats and what's going on. And I think those are going to be exciting too, because we're going to see how we individually play in the tactical level of those little nodes from factory to deck plate.
And I think, you know, at the end of the day, we all like to go home saying, holy cow, I really made a difference. And I think when we embrace this effort and when we see our readiness start to rise because of that, I think we're there. The good news is I think that FMO's on it. So my message to all the team out there is watch the videos. You do that, you'll be ready to go.
When we do our day-to-day job the right way, every time, the accounting will happen automatically.